So yeah, man.
What are you talking about, dude? Jeez.
I'm talking about Sigma lenses, you fucking ass.
Nobody cares about your signal.
Oh my god, this guy.
I'm just fine.
He always wants to start the podcast hella petty.
Dude, we gotta be entertaining, dude.
Anyway,
we're gonna get started right now.
Okay.
So, welcome everybody again to another episode.
What episode we at?
Oh man,
Is it 18?
It's 18. Yes.
Is it 18?
It's 18.
Something like that.
I think it's-
Have you watched any episodes?
I've watched all of them. I've
All
watched
right.
2 of them. I watch all the time.
Bro.
You better if you're here. And I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just playing. So we
Let me
have
go
another
double
guest
check.
today.
Oh yeah, it is 18.
18.
18. We're back with another guest, guys.
Another guest. You have been very supportive, and like you said, you've been watching. I know you've been watching because we always talk back and forth. We had never met,
Yeah.
but we decided to bring you in so you can tell us a little bit about your story and stuff. So, Aczel.
Yep.
Did I pronounce it right?
I mean, we can go for
We're
it.
gonna, we're gonna say it right, and
Totally
we're gonna
2
say
minutes ago.
Axel.
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 Dude,
Go with Aczel. That's
Yeah,
better.
Axel.
Axel.
Jeez, I suck.
Bro, you're
dude.
Hispanic and you
I
can't
suck.
say Axel.
I suck. Axel.
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 There you go.
Axel. Axel.
Yeah.
God. I'm just gonna
That
say
works.
Axel.
That works out, man. Well, welcome into the podcast, man.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure for sure.
So you've been doing some photography here and there, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, the thing is, so photography has like been around me like the whole time. It's always been just around me. My dad did it since he was like 15 back in Mexico.
Oh wow.
He was doing
shit.
like quinceañeras and stuff over there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I had some tia's two aunts do it too. They did some photography. One of them still does. So photography and video have kind of always been around me. And I mean, how long have you guys have been here for a while? There was this. My parents had a shop on Wells. It's called Eterno.
Oh, I
It
remember that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
them. They were like the big boys.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Then
Yeah, yeah.
2008 happened. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Was it like
struggle.
like a photography studio?
No. So what they did is like think of Mundo Latino, but like
It's like a Hispanic shop,
like
where you
better.
can go buy.
But
yeah.
better. He's like, but better.
Yeah, you could go get like good dress up stuff.
yeah,
you
they
know?
did like decorations
I
and
remember
like
that,
photography. Yeah. So they were doing pretty good at that. But then 2008 hit. But yeah, basically photography has always been around. I've been shooting myself. I would say probably, I think 2017. I was doing a lot of quinceañeras. My junior year of high school. I think that was 2017.
Oh, wow.
My junior year of high school, I was doing a quinceañera and shoots like every single weekend.
Oh, wow.
I was really busy back then, yeah. But yeah, man, I've always really been into photography and video, mostly video, honestly. But
Oh really? So
Yeah.
are you kind of more leaning towards picking up video more seriously, or like?
yeah,
Photos.
so I've been really looking into some video stuff. I'd probably say it's like 70-30,
Okay.
something like that. I like video a little bit more.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I was go back and forth between the two.
yeah, I think it's good to go to video
Yeah.
because it's not like as saturated as photography.
Yeah,
makes
that
sense.
too.
I go through
actually.
phases, man, that I start doing video, and then
I'm barely
all of
gonna
a sudden
start
I
getting
get pretty
into video.
tired.
It's
you know?
fun. It's hard. I mean, it's
Yeah,
time
yeah.
consuming, but I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I just finished Jasmine and San Vicente's video.
Oh, nice.
It's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm stoked to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But you were pretty young when you started then.
Yeah, I mean, junior year, what is that, like 16, maybe 17?
That's
Oh,
interesting,
dang.
dude.
Yeah.
It's a
I
young
would have
age.
never seen myself shooting pictures at
Yeah, me
around that
neither.
age.
Yeah, man.
When I was 16, I never would have been like, I'm buying a camera and I'm gonna become a photographer.
Well, no, see, my dad, we moved to Mexico. We were back and forth for a while, but we settled for a good amount of time recently. And at the time, he bought a camera. He bought two. He bought 2 Canons, an 80D and a 5D Mark III.
Okay.
Wow.
So he had some contracts here or there, but he bought it like in case I wanted to, and he's told me that too. He was pretty supportive.
That's cool.
So really, I didn't really buy my first camera. I recently actually bought an A7 III.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Sony boy.
A Sony
For sure.
Sony
shit
gang.
over here.
Yeah, so I didn't actually buy anything back then, but I was really dedicated for sure. I mean, like I said, my weekends were work. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Does your dad still do it though, or?
So he wants to open a YouTube channel. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
Dude, get it, man.
nice.
but-
That'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
What is it?
He's been wanting to, but
What does he
he's
want
like
it to
on the
be
edge.
about?
Huh?
What does he want it to be about?
More like a talking thing of like politics, kind of.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Like a chat
yeah.
type YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
But he's picked up a few contracts over the last. Well, he hasn't lately on, obviously just COVID. And I know there's still good stuff going on, but it just kind of threw
It's
everybody
hard.
off.
Yeah. No,
So
definitely did.
he hasn't lately, but he had been picking up a few clients. He did, actually, I think he did quinceañera not too long ago. But yeah, man, he's still in it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
This COVID stuff, man. I was thinking about how I just basically went full time and then we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah,
you
Bro,
know?
I mean, you gotta. My first year after being full time, and then COVID happened.
And then COVID happened.
Like I went full time in 2019, and then the next year in February of 2020, basically a month later, everything started, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Great, I'm about to go back to work
I
somewhere."
mean, I bet that was scary. Yeah.
Dude, it was, but I mean, we still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty busy, right? It looked like it was.
Yeah,
pretty
it
busy.
was.
yeah.
It was one of those things where like you
Um,
thought it was gonna be really slow.
Mhm.
It definitely was slow wedding wise. Like
Oh, yeah, I bet.
by no means did a lot of weddings. Like I
Mhm.
think I might have done like 5 out of like 22 that I was supposed to do. So that was a big like, oh crap, you know.
Mhm.
But graduation season was like insanely busy just because I think people were like, well, I want grad pictures if I
Yeah.
can't walk. Which is kind of the same case this year too. Like I feel like now that UNR is like, well, people aren't walking. There's a ton of people booking grads because they're like, well,
Can we talk
I
about
want
that?
something.
It's the dumbest thing.
I think so too. I don't know if you guys have seen the petition going around to like, if you sign it, it's a petition for UNR to allow their students to walk.
But
Oh,
it was
yeah.
around last year too. And
Yeah, I
nothing
mean,
happened.
but the thing is though, like I understand why last year it might have not
Yeah.
happened because dude, that was only like 2 months after the outbreak, you know?
Sure.
Yeah,
Like-
I think the same way. I think last year it was a lot going on and it was pretty
Yeah.
big. I think this year, if they take some precautions and stuff, I think it should be pretty doable.
I mean, there's
you know?
vaccines going out now.
Dude, the Super Bowl
Like,
just
I think-
happened.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I saw that. I
It
don't
was
know how I
like,
feel
come
about
on.
that.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Super Bowl had as many guests. I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna limit it by
And
a
you
lot.
can't have like a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, I think if they limit and they do some precautions and stuff, I think maybe have like just a couple family members. At least you should be able to.
Yeah,
walk.
I think
Right.
they should still do like the online ceremony, but like for people who can't
Mm. Yeah,
attend.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because obviously, like if they have a restriction, maybe they're just like, hey, you can only have 5 family members,
Yeah.
like max. And then maybe at the stadium they just have people sit a certain amount of distance away from
Right.
each other.
I think it's doable.
So I mean, maybe UNR
It's
will change their
science.
mind because it does suck, man. Like that's a lot of graduations where people don't get a ceremony. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really crappy
Yes,
because they're
oh,
usually what in like May, right? Like
I don't
isn't it
even
like
know.
I think it's like middle of May when graduations happen. At least for UNR.
yeah.
I
Are you
think.
still in school?
No, I went to TMCC for a little bit and I actually really liked it. I was never a school guy. Like
Really?
literally,
Yeah, me
kindergarten, they used to give you detention if you didn't do your homework for 3 days in a row.
That was
Yeah,
you.
I was there every 3 days.
You started off early.
And
dude.
high school,
started
like I
young,
literally, I did the bare minimum. I think I'm pretty smart, but I just did the bare minimum.
Yeah,
you know.
just did enough to get you through.
Yeah, I went to TMCC and I actually really liked it. I kind of debated it for a while. I just don't really
What were
think it's
you
for
going
me.
for?
Either communications or business.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
was
good, like,
thinking
starting
marketing
point,
too,
though.
but more communications than
That's
anything.
dope. I was studying communications a long time ago too, and I mean just business also, which helps now.
Yeah.
But I'm like you, dude. I've never been a school person. So.
Yeah.
I
I
see
mean,
that
like-
a lot, right? With people that are like creative and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to get. I don't know. I think when you have the mindset of a person who doesn't want to be tied down to a job forever, like you're just kind of like, why am I gonna go to school and,
Yeah,
and get
for
a
sure.
degree just to work in an office for like 8 hours or whatever kind of job you get? Not that like you can't get a degree and have a fun job, but it's hard depending on what field you go into. You know, like there's some of my friends who studied like biology, but they're just around nature like 24/7 because they're just biologists.
Yeah.
I'm like, that'd be a dope job. Like I would do that. But
Yeah.
then there's people who are like, oh, I went to school for finance or for this, and
Oh,
I just
man.
sit in
I
an
almost
office.
fell into that.
Like,
I almost fell into that. I really considered being a broker. Like
really?
or like I don't know, just an accountant. I'm good with numbers.
Yeah.
So I considered it, but man, I couldn't. And I mean, like I said, my parents, they had a shop of their own, so like I kind of just
You grew up in that
in that
environment.
whole
I
entrepreneur
had that
environment.
mentality
That
put
makes
into me with my stepdad because he always had side businesses, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, you should never look forward to not being your own boss.
Yeah,
you know, like you
definitely.
should try to be your own boss at one point. So I'm kind of glad that happened to me like around that like 15, 16 age. So when I started college, I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, thankfully now I don't have to be somewhere all the
Everything
time.
works out, man. At the end, everything
And you
works out.
in what, a week?
Week what?
And don't you leave in a week?
No, I leave Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah, this
Oh,
Friday.
let's go! Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, you put it in, huh?
Yeah, I
pretty
thought
much.
I was thinking you were still sticking to the 19th.
No.
You're doing this
I
Friday?
was like, guys, you know
Let's
what?
go, dude. Hell yeah.
I don't feel like staying.
Oh, you got
any
2 more
longer.
days then.
Yeah. And
Fuck
tomorrow
yeah,
I only
dude.
work half day because I have stuff to do.
That's dope.
So it'll be
So next
fun,
week,
man.
breakfast or what?
Yeah.
sir.
I'm hell down.
Because we can
Also-
actually hang out
Yeah.
now.
Even
Me and
this-
him never kick it because he always has to work Monday through Friday. And
Even
then
this
weekends
mo-
we're both busy. So.
Even this morning, man, like I
You're
stayed
just-
up late editing that video, right? And then I wake up in the morning, I'm like, dude.
Well, it's
just-
like that feeling like when you were in high school when you had finals.
Oh
and
yeah.
you just get like, bro, I'm so over school. Like that last
Yeah.
month, every single morning you're like, should I even go to school?
Right.
Yeah. No,
Like
really,
you're like,
though.
I'm done, dude. No, that's tight though. I
Yeah,
actually had
it'll be fun.
a good amount of people ask me questions for you.
Damn,
So
bro.
Oh really?
talk to him about
That's
something
so
while I go look
popular.
these up.
So what with your photography? Where, because you know your dad was doing all the quinceañeras,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he was doing weddings and
Mhm.
stuff. But where do you want to take it? Like, do you want to still do that, or you want to focus on something else?
So here's the thing. At first I really didn't look at video at all. I mean, I always did video, so I don't know why it took me so long to realize that like I like video.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, I thought photography was like really like the only thing. For some reason, I was like in that mentality where like photography was like the only thing. And back then, I didn't know there was like so many like I had never heard of like Chef or like any of you guys or like anybody. Like I really was like stuck in this little
Wait.
cube.
What?
I thought like I didn't hear about
Nah,
Chef until like
Chef's gonna see this
maybe
and
a
be like,
couple
"Bruh."
years ago.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Dude. Like I still find people every now and then that I'm like, dude, what the hell?
No,
You know?
but here, like the only people that I knew were like way older people, like that I would hear
Like
about
older,
doing that
older.
stuff, like
Oh, I
older,
see.
like already in their like I mean they're
30s,
not old,
40s.
but I was
Yeah.
17, 16. I didn't think
It's
like anybody like
40-year-old old as fuck.
no, so I really didn't think there was like people my age, so I felt like I really fell deep in this like box of like just negativeness, and I went down this route of like, all right, so I was working with my dad, and I had my godfather. He does quinceañeras and stuff too, and every once in a while they'd like, hey, I need a second shooter and stuff, and I'd help him out. But there came this guy. I'm not gonna say any names.
It's all good.
Leo. It was just not a good. He was a businessman more than he was anything.
Oh, okay.
But think like Krusty Krabs type of stuff, like
Mm.
just like really the bare minimum with him.
Yeah.
And I worked with him for like 2 summers, and it was a lot. And I was really like feeling bad about the work that I wasn't editing the footage or anything. I was just
Shooting.
recording and shooting photos, and I mean I was basically taking control because he would book like 6 quinceañeras in a weekend,
Oh, damn.
or like on a Saturday. So I was like
Yeah.
taking control of whatever I was at, But like I would get calls like months later. I got a call maybe like 6 months ago about a quinceañera that I shot last year. Or 2
Really?
years, no, not last year, like 2 years ago, that they never
What?
got their work.
What?
Oh, dude, oh my god, can we talk about that?
Dude.
Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my
I fell in
God.
this hole of like, I didn't know there was like people. I mean, I knew there was a few people, but like nobody that was like around my age group where I could
Doing
like
it.
really relate
Yeah.
to. So I was like surrounded by like, not surrounded because it was only the one guy, but he's the one that had work.
But that
for
was
me,
like the main
you know?
person you were with, yeah.
And it was just like I really started to hate doing that stuff. Started to hate photography and video just because that's what I was like. When people would like get my number somehow. First of all, like I don't know how people would get my number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, where's my stuff? Like, I'm sorry, but that's
Like, you don't, yeah. That's not in
Oh
your
my
control.
God.
But
man.
you know, then I started to get really into like this like whole of like I don't even want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why I like really like if you look at my Instagram, man, I used to be like remotely active considering, but then I like stopped posting for like a long
'Cause
time.
you just kind of needed a break.
Yeah,
from
and
it.
I just like I fell out of love with it. And I started doing a bunch of like quarantine was as like bad as the whole virus thing has been for a lot of people. Quarantine was really good for me. Like actually like just being in lockdown,
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things. But yeah, it wasn't until recently that I was like, yeah, man, I want to like start doing it again and like really take it seriously.
Yeah.
And so to ask your question, that was a lot of rambling, but I don't it's fun to shoot a wedding, but I don't exactly love it, you know? It's fun to it's stressful, but it's a good stressful, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. I mentioned earlier that I would watch 2 episodes. I watched probably both of them like 3 times. The one with Nick and the one with Lucido, I forgot his first
Oh,
name.
Mike Lucido?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I want to go into commercial.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's definitely where I see myself going.
There you go.
Man, that's the amount of times I like start to think of myself like storyboarding in my head of like commercials and stuff. For sure. The
So it
video,
seems like
yeah.
commercial photography video is like your lane then.
For sure. I
That's
mean,
dope.
I like I said earlier, like I thought photography was it for me. But man, like the amount of times that I like catch myself like creating a commercial, like a storyboard and everything just in my head,
You're
I'm
just
like for
leaning
sure,
towards
it's
video now?
It's video. Like, I know
That's
it
good.
is.
No, that's dope. I mean, it's totally okay to start with photo and then develop a passion for videography. Like that, I think that happens a lot because then you knowing how to take pictures like kind of helps to start with video because then at least you know how to use your camera.
Yeah.
But then you just have to learn, you know, like video stuff like frame rates and
Yeah.
like all those things. But that's tight, man. I feel like I don't hear many people, especially even around your age, say like, oh, I want to do commercial photo video. So it's kind of cool that at your age you're like, that's what I want to go into.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
That's
I
really
definitely I thought about it for a while, but I think it's just part of like what I said, like I just got stuck with like the bad image of like doing that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And commercial is always really called to me. When I think
What happened?
you good? we still rolling?
I'm like, did you record?
When I heard, I think it was Nick's first episode, his first. When I first heard that episode, I was like, man, I texted him or I DM'd him. I was like, man, thank you for like coming on the show. Like, it, like really like give me a lot of insight.
That's dope.
Yeah, just commercial
Oh, man.
definitely like really
That makes me
resonates
happy
with
though.
Yeah, I'm glad that like someone we brought.
Sometimes
on
I
here kinda-
wonder. I'm like, is this being even helpful? You know, for people?
Oh, I've heard people say
probably wouldn't have gone back into
Because
it.
you know, you tend to be just insecure about stuff, and I'm like, man, like, I mean, it's a lot of work, you know, and stuff, and I'm like, I hope it's been
had a
helpful
lot of
for
like
someone, you know.
more up and coming people say that every guest that comes on kind of gives them like a different perspective on stuff, which is really
Sure.
tight. And then, you know, they'll say we like seeing the side of like me and him or whoever comes in outside of like what people see through
yeah.
social media, because like you may think you know someone through Instagram, but like you don't.
Yeah,
You know,
it's way
like,
different. I
no
mean,
matter-
this guy thought I was white.
I know. Oh my god, dude.
I don't know.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
where?
Yeah, he's
I swear I'm
right.
darker than you.
He's not right, man.
How the hell did you think?
That's just
Where the hell
hilarious.
did you get that come from? What the
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I did think so, man. I'm sorry, dude. 'cause
Where in the
honestly,
world?
I would talk to him all the time, right? But I wouldn't see him posting pictures of himself or
Yeah.
like a little video or
Yeah.
anything, you know.
So you didn't know what he looked
So like my first, I don't know. I just thought that you were white,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like, oh shit.
Isn't your last name Santana?
Yeah, dude, literally, come on.
Right?
Carlos
Yeah, I
Santana,
fucked
you never
up,
heard
man.
of him?
I'm sorry, man.
I'm meant to be a musician, Loki.
yeah.
Axl Rose, Carlos Santana, like it's I don't know.
Carlos,
That's
maybe,
pretty-
maybe I'm doing the
Carlos
wrong thing.
Santana, dude.
Aczel Santana? Come on, where'd you get white out of that, bro?
I don't know, man.
That's like if somebody.
I had a profile
that's like,
picture too.
It's like
I
he
don't
told
know,
his
man.
name to someone. Oh, my name's Salvador Marquez, but then they're like, "Are you white?" Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, man. Honestly, yeah, I'll take the L on that one.
Oh my god,
For
what
sure.
a clown!
Yeah.
He said
no,
it, that he was white.
Instagram's a trip for sure. The one thing that Mike really resonated with me too is the fact that he's like really is his own person on his
Yeah,
Oh,
on
yeah.
his Instagram. You know, like he's a clown, dude.
Yeah.
He's really
Yeah.
funny,
He's super funny.
and I need
Yeah.
I need to get better at that for sure.
I think like the past year I started slowly opening to like just posting whatever the hell I want on my story now.
Yeah.
And it went from like not just photo stuff on my story, which it was like, I think it started happening during like quarantine because I found myself like being more inside. And I'm like, I just kind of want to show people what I'm about outside of like, oh, I'm the photographer here in Reno or whatever, you know? That's why like, I'll go on Instagram and post whatever now. Like, people probably get tired of seeing like my Smash Bros clips, but I'm like, whatever, bro.
Video from
Oh, yesterday. Dude,
that was hilarious.
dude, I had to. Ever since I got those lights, I'm like, I wonder if I can match them to like music rhythm.
That's
and the
funny.
first song I thought of to do that with was that damn SpongeBob song.
That was
So I'm
funny.
like, I'm gonna do this. And I literally just sat on my bed yesterday and I'm like, bro, it's actually working.
That was funny.
Because yeah, the little lights I got have like a rhythm pattern thing where it detects music, so then it goes to the music, and I'm like, bro, that song's perfect.
No,
Because
that
in the
fit.
video, it's like all trippy and colorful. So I was like, I have to. So many people responded to that, and they're like, "You're a clown." I was
That was
like,
funny.
"I'm sorry, dude. I had to do it."
Bro, I want to talk about what he said about photographers, videographers not sending out
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we need
man.
to. That's a topic we
I have,
definitely.
Dude,
I
like-
have 2 stories about that.
Okay,
Whoa, just
you
one.
gotta tell us about. Come on,
start with the
everybody.
stories.
What the hell is going on? I don't understand. I've heard this so many times.
Me too, bro.
I have heard this so many times, and I just don't understand.
I mean, I do a lot of weddings, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the times when I've had someone approach me for the wedding, one of the first things they ask me is how long it takes to get all their photos back. And for weddings, I give them like a 2 to 3 week span, but a lot of times I get it done in like a week. You know, it just depends my workload and stuff like that. But it's crazy because at least 90% of those couples will be like, oh, really? Only 2 to 3 weeks? Okay. And to me, even sometimes that feels like a long time because like it's 2 to 3 weeks, you know? But I understand, like, I understand some people see it as like, oh, it's a wedding though. It's like 500 plus photos. So like, it'll take a while. But all of them are surprised because they're like, oh yeah, my friends got married and they got their wedding photos like 5 months later. And I'm like,
Dude, oh my god.
What?
I've heard people that hire a photographer, videographer, and it's been a year and they haven't seen
and they
anything.
still haven't gotten anything.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
Not even a preview. I've heard a lot where clients say that they reach out to the person and they just never get back to them.
Right.
I mean,
Um,
the guy that I was working with, he dipped to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
He dipped to Mexico.
Wow.
Wow, man.
Oh, that's super petty. So he
That's
just left
shitty.
everyone on like, where's my stuff at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was,
After he got paid and
I mean, like I
everything?
said, he was super busy, so I'm sure it was more than a handful of people.
Damn. See,
Damn, bro.
this is why sometimes some couples have asked me if, you know, like I always ask for a deposit for a wedding, and then they can pay everything like leading up to the wedding or the day of the wedding. But I also give them the option, I'm like, you can pay the first half the day at your wedding, and then you can pay the rest when I give you your stuff. Because I think that gives them a little more security of like, okay, I'm not
never
just
thought
going
of
to
that.
pay this dude this much money.
Yeah.
But then a month after our wedding or 2 months, like I still
I
haven't
don't do
got
that
anything.
though,
You don't do that?
and I don't like that.
Why?
I can see why you don't like that.
I have had situations where I finished everything, and then they're like, "Oh, we spent the money. Can you wait for us?" You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm
And
never
so
had that happen.
I've
so.
had to wait months to get paid, so I
can
don't
see
like
that.
that. So ever since I
I've
got
always
that-
offered it, but it's never happened. Like
I'm sure
and-
it's just easier for them
Yeah.
to like give you the money up front. Too,
Yeah,
probably.
because
because
I-
they have everything planned out. You
Yeah.
know, they have their budget, but they might
I
spend
mean, I
it
can
if you. If
I
they
can
don't pay
see
right
like
away,
you know it backfiring in the sense of like, what if they don't pay you then?
Yeah.
You know, and you have everything, but in all the weddings I've ever done, I've never had someone pay the half later. Like that day of the wedding, they're like, "No, we trust you. Here's."
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
then they kind of see how fast you get them their engagement ones, which I think that speaks a little bit to how fast they'll get everything else too.
For sure.
Not that, you know, you have to take 2 to 3 weeks for one engagement, but like let's say you send them their engagement photos a week after, they're kind of like, oh, okay, they get more of that like comfortable feeling of like, okay, when we
I mean,
do
they
our
got
wedding,
their first pictures.
yeah, like he's not gonna take that long. But I just throw it out as an option because I get that some people are grimy and they do that. You know,
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot of times where I'm like, how are you not gonna give someone their wedding photos like 8 months after they got married, bro? Like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
what are you
man.
doing for 8 months that you can't sit and edit those videos?
How,
Like,
how
come
long
on.
do you do? How long do you take doing video?
Video
To deliver.
Oh man. Well, I've been working, right? I've been working
Yeah.
like my full time job, and I have so many shoots, right? But I give it 6 to 8 weeks.
That's like
And-
your usual return
But
rate?
if I don't have anything to do and I get on it,
You'll grind on it, yeah.
it'll take me 1 to 2 days. You know, it's not that much.
I mean,
So-
what is it like? Probably like I've taken probably like 8 hours ish, 10.
Yeah, it just depends. Depends on what you have and what you're giving them, you know. And I feel like I do give it a lot. And so sometimes it does take me, you know, if I count the hours, maybe like 10 hours,
Yeah.
12. I don't
It's just
know.
a matter of balancing out how much to do each day.
Yeah,
and stuff.
sometimes I just don't. And the only thing with me, and I don't like this about myself, but whenever I have photo shoots, I don't like to put them aside. I kind of just want to do them first, you know. So I edit video when I don't have anything, but sometimes that gets kind of tricky because I always have
you
stuff.
start stacking up on
Yeah.
pictures.
But
and
now that
then
I'm gonna
you're
be
out.
full time, I'm gonna dedicate some
Yeah, you're
days
gonna
to
have way
just
more
video,
time, man.
yeah, and just get those out of the way faster, you know. Because honestly, I used to tell them a month, right, and I can do that easily if I get to it. But now I've been super busy, and I told them 4 to 6, and then that was like I was barely getting into the 6 week, right? So now
Like the
just to be
deadline?
safe, I say 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have it before that, then I just give it to them, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way for wedding photos. Like sometimes I do get to the 2 to 3 week
Yeah.
like deadline just because I have so many other things every single day.
Right.
That it's like stacking up, you know. And obviously, editing like 2 senior portrait sessions is different than editing an
Yeah.
entire wedding because
Oh,
that
yeah,
wedding's
you have to
gonna
match
take you like
everything. Yeah.
yeah, that wedding's gonna
a
take you
whole
like
different
6-7 hours just sitting on your computer.
Oh, yeah.
When I can knock out 2 grads in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just different.
It's just different.
But I mean, I always make sure that I stay within that deadline unless I for some reason can't. You know, like when I do one shoot, I tell people to give me like a week, but it's always like a few days after. Just depends, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, give me like 7 days, and they're like, okay, cool. But then sometimes 2 days later, I'm like, and an editing grind, and I just knock out like every shoot I have. So I'm like, here you go. It's 2 days, but
Yeah.
you know, and people are stoked because they're kind of like mentally prepare themselves for like, oh, in a week I'll get my picture. So then when they get it before, they're like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like early kind of.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like a cool feeling because then you're like, oh, I thought I was going to wait a week, but here I am 3 days later and I got it, you know?
Tell us
So-
the story.
Oh, yeah. Tell us your story about the, what was it about?
Somebody.
Oh, so I did
Oh,
a
yeah.
quinceañera, and man, they paid for the whole package
Really?
up front. The guy, I guess he wasn't even a local, I guess, but they found that out later. I guess they paid the whole package up front for just photography though.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't for both, so it was a little bit cheaper, but like, I mean, still that's a lot, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They paid up front, and he took the photos of the session like before the event, you know, and like he printed out a canvas. He gave him the canvas. It wasn't even edited. It was like
Just
the
a raw
shadows
file.
were black and the highlights
Oh.
were blown. It was bad.
Yeah.
And they never got any digital pictures.
Oh.
And he dipped, I think, to Colombia or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he dipped.
Bro, these
And I
people
think
are
that was
just
like
ghosting
$2,000.
their
I think
clients.
it
Holy
was
shit, man.
terrible, man.
Oh my god.
And then,
bad.
so I was just only shooting video for them, but then I was like, you know what, like, for like, I told them, you know what, I can get somebody to shoot your pictures for like not that much, you know, because like that's terrible, man, you
Yeah,
know.
It's terrible. I don't
That
understand
sucks,
it, man. There was this guy I work with. Not gonna say names, but I did video. I finished the video. I'm like, hey, have you gotten your photos, right? And it's been like a month, and they're like, no, we haven't. I'm like, well, he'll probably get to it, right? And then a year later, they hired me for family photos, and then they're like, hey, have you talked to this guy? And then I'm like, no. And then he's like, well, he hasn't given me anything,
What?
Oh man.
not even a single thing.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
man.
dude, what? And then the guy hit me up again, asking me if I was available for something. I'm like, no, I just don't want to be.
Oh man, he's still around too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh
and so
man.
I just don't want to be associated with
No,
that.
Yeah, no,
stay away
definitely,
from people
dude.
like that.
It's like I
I
don't want to
shot-
be. I don't want people to think that I'm working with you because if you're doing that stuff, I don't want my name under that.
No,
you know?
definitely,
So, like,
man.
I don't know, man. It's just
That's rough.
fucked up stuff, you know.
No, it is. You don't want your
So-
name on that for sure.
Fuck y'all.
I mean, like I said, people were calling me and they were like, "Hey, so when are you gonna give us our pictures?"
Right.
And I was like, "Nah, man, like that's not me. Like you definitely don't want your name in
I've
there."
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've done stuff with
Because people will, even if you're not involved,
They
if your name is
find you.
around, they're
Yeah.
gonna find out and they're gonna
Yeah.
think that it was you. You know.
They just
And
want
then word of
someone
mouth,
to put
man,
the
everything.
like.
Oh, yeah.
They want to find somebody to put
Word
their
of mouth
blame
is
to.
so powerful in
Yeah.
a good way and in a bad
In a
way
bad
too.
way,
You
yeah.
know, so you gotta be careful.
I feel like that's why if you're trying to do, I mean, whatever it is you're doing, like as a profession, like you need to make sure you have a good rep. Like,
Yeah.
don't be an idiot and don't like be an asshole to your clients and not get them stuff or make shooting experiences like difficult or
Don't be
weird or don't be
creepy.
creepy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thankful and I'm sure I hear it about him a lot too. That I would think we're like pretty liked here as far as like that rep side.
Alcohólico.
I know, dude. He's about to do another one.
I love this
Alcoholic
podcast, man. Only because of
he
this.
just takes it and drinks.
Those things are gross.
I like them.
Have you seen how I'm like not even halfway done with mine?
I
It's
don't
because
like
I
those.
enjoy it, but then I don't enjoy it.
I realize
you know?
that I don't like the taste of beer, honestly.
I don't like beer either.
So I like
I
beer.
like liquor. I don't like beer.
I like beer alternatives, you know? So
Yeah,
something
I
sweet,
prefer
something
this
that
to
is
the
not
beer.
really gonna taste like beer, but it's
I
gonna
would
get
rather
you
drink
some-
this than like having like a Corona or Modelo.
I know,
Yeah.
Even though
bro.
Modelo sometimes sounds kind of good, but
Because
it's
the
not, like,
Modelos, you
my
gotta
first
drink
choice.
like 2 or 3 for them to start to taste
For you
good,
to
you know?
forget how they taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, you forget about the taste.
Oh
Beer's
man,
just
new
kind of
mixes.
gross.
Do you remember
I know.
those?
People,
The new
ones?
mixes. In
Oh,
Mexico?
dude, yeah.
Those are good.
Those are good. I like
Well, the little
those too.
Coronita things are bomb too.
Those are those are good. They kind of taste like this though, but
I think they taste better than White Claw, personally.
Those
think I
the
have some.
Corona ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're
They
better
do?
than White Claw.
I don't like White Claws at all.
Like, period.
Really?
Period.
I only like the tangerine and that's it.
people
I'll never touch another one that's not tangerine, so.
people give us a lot of shit for that.
What?
For drinking White Claws.
They
Really?
Well, do you remember that video I posted with Chris? I told you this. I posted a video on Facebook, and then he shared it, right? And then
yeah.
I went on his comments, and then we were talking about how we didn't like Mexican food, like chile
Oh.
rellenos
Oh
and
man,
stuff.
chava.
Yeah, Chava, I know,
And so
bro.
somebody posted, yeah, these guys are more white than anything. The White Claws gave it away for me.
I didn't
White
even see
Claws
that.
for
It's
me.
the White Claws for me, yeah.
That was all Chava's fault because
I
I
It
just
was,
decided
man.
to.
Like, can you believe this guy?
Can't believe he doesn't like ceviche, bro. Like, what's
Don't
wrong
let,
with
Ceviche.
don't let me go into that. 'cause
Tacos are.
I'll go off,
whack.
dude.
Bruh,
I'll go off.
no, and nobody agrees with
Don't-
you.
It's okay. Fuck.
Exactly. So how are you gonna go off? What, are you
Hey,
gonna
I'm
defend
gonna have
yourself?
to fight both of you though.
Why?
Oh,
Pineapple. Pineapple
Oh.
on pizza.
Nah, chief.
No.
I know you. I heard you guys say that. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to
That's
disagree
not
with you guys.
it.
I had some earlier today.
That's not it.
That's
I had some earlier
Bro.
today.
That
I'm
is
not gonna
not
lie.
it, bro.
That's not the move.
I'll
man.
have any other topping besides that. That's cool. No,
Hell
no.
man. No.
It's low-key
No.
better than pepperoni.
Oof. Yeah,
I mean,
That's
I
cap.
know I'm gonna get hate for that one.
that's cap.
but
Wow.
That's super
pineapple,
cap.
it's gotta be.
That's
How are you gonna have it on a
cap.
taco and then fight it so hard on a pizza?
Cap.
Well, I don't like it even on tacos.
Yeah, but you're something
make-
else.
Yeah, yeah.
You're something else.
I'm something else.
Can you make sure
I'm
you
something
edit the
else.
little cap emoji on me when he says that?
Yeah,
Just be like cap.
I will.
That's mega cap.
That's hella
He
cap.
said it's better than pepperoni. Come on, Axel. Come on. No,
Yeah,
no,
you
no,
should trip in there.
Nah, we don't play that pepperoni less tastier than Hawaiian. I've never liked Hawaiian pizza, bro. Never.
Really?
I've tried it. Don't think I haven't,
Green eggs and
Yeah,
ham.
like,
I
tried
can
it.
eat it, but I'm like, it's just kind of
If I feel like the only times I've ever eaten it is if that's just all there was. So I just take off the pineapple and I'm like, cool, I'll just eat it with the ham, like whatever.
Yep.
But I will not leave pineapple on that shit.
Yep. So
Nope. So that's something we're gonna disagree on, but it's okay.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, we'll agree to
Exactly,
disagree,
dude.
Except for him. 'cause-
I've been
No, I
fucking
can't.
trying to tell you that.
Nah, bro,
Did you
you
notice
take
how I
it
brought
too
my
far.
microphone on this side?
Yeah, you
I've
take
been
it
trying
too
to tell
far.
you that,
You
dude.
take it too far.
You
though.
gotta be understanding.
I understand maybe the.
Screw you, man.
I don't understand any of the shit he doesn't like. I don't. Bland ass tacos, no chiles rellenos.
Low key though, they're
They're
okay.
they're mid. They're not all that.
They're
But so I'll,
gross.
you know
Let's
what? I'll
just
agree to
call it
disagree
like
with
it
that
is,
one.
okay? They're
It's fine.
gross.
I'll agree
They're
with
not
that
gross either though,
They're
man.
gross, man.
I'll agree to disagree with him about the chiles rellenos,
They're
but,
okay. They're okay.
but not the
Asco.
ceviche. Come on, bro.
Asco.
Asco tu cara, güey. What the hell is wrong with you talking about ceviches?
Well, you got questions
Disgusting.
for him or what?
Yes, I do. Damn.
All right,
just
bring it
talking about
on.
some- Somebody.
All right,
on
first question. You single or what?
No,
right.
no, I'm very much taken.
Oh, he's
Right
got.
on.
I got a girl.
Sorry, ladies.
How long?
Yeah. We hit 2 years pretty
Oh, nice,
recently.
man. It's a long time.
Oh crap! I'm brain farting.
Oof.
Oh no!
Hey,
Oh shit!
No, it's the
Oh, shit.
23rd.
Oh,
Is it now?
It is the 23rd.
it's gonna be the 23rd.
No, it was in February.
Oh,
yeah,
so
we
you
went.
just hit
yeah, we celebrated it.
That's
Brain
nice.
farted.
Yeah.
I promise. I remember.
Damn, son.
She's gonna watch this and be like,
fucking
"Boy."
No, yeah, we've been together. It's pretty crazy though. We've known each other for 5 years.
Oh wow. So like since high school or?
Yeah, it's my sophomore year is when I met her.
Oh nice.
We dated once, didn't work out too well. Stayed friends. Then
Got older,
2
realized
years.
like
Yeah.
that makes
Well,
sense.
that's cool.
That's awesome, man.
Well, just off the top of my head question, but we got actual
the first one that
questions.
came to mind was to ask him if he
Yeah.
was single.
I don't know,
Okay.
man. Maybe some.
Are you talking to anybody yet?
Maybe. No, I'm not.
You
Oh, he thought
hesitated
about
a
it. He thought
bit.
about it.
Not anymore.
Who's
Not
a lucky
anymore.
lady out there?
Oh,
Not
not
anymore.
anymore.
Oh.
Who broke your
I'm
heart,
sorry.
bro? You good?
Nobody, man. Nobody breaks my heart. I have no heart.
You good?
No, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Nah, I'm good.
He's got 2 White Claws down.
Yeah, he's kind of
Yeah,
he's
let
kind
me-
of going through it right
Let me
now.
open up the other one.
He's about to just drink the 3 that I'm
Go
not
for it,
gonna.
man. Go
Nah,
for
no,
it.
no, I'm just playing. No, no girls for
I
me,
think maybe
man.
now that he'll be full time, maybe he will, because he'll have.
Yeah,
more
you'll
time.
have a lot more
I'll have
time.
more time to slide up on those DMs, right?
There you go.
There you go.
You're stupid. You said I'm gonna slide in those DMs. Damn, I guess everyone who follows you beware, because Chava's.
Yeah.
Chava's
I'm
out
coming.
here.
I'm coming for you.
After Friday,
Dun-dun.
he's out here.
Dun-dun.
Dang. No, but back to actually asking Aczel
Yeah,
questions.
we got actual questions for you.
One of the, I'm just gonna pick out the ones that kind of stood out, you know, because some people ask stupid stuff, but some
course.
people ask decent things. So if you don't hear your question, it's probably because it wasn't that interesting.
Stupid question.
Coming for you guys.
Sheesh! I'm about to get attacked. They're gonna be like, I'm never asking you nothing. Just know, guys, that I run that page, so I'm the one that chooses your questions. So if you don't see your question, it's probably because it's
Can
kind of
you
sus.
every time you open up your phone, I start getting that fucking noise.
Why?
I don't know, but it's fine.
The
What?
fuck?
It's
That's
weird.
hella weird.
It is very
Wait,
weird.
what?
I won't
Nothing.
open it then. I'll just leave
No,
it.
no,
like
no.
this.
It's fine. Yeah, well,
We'll
whatever.
brainstorm.
Yeah,
it.
no.
We'll go for it.
Sometimes it's not
Somebody
too bad.
asked, do you think it's difficult to get into the photography market, being at the age that you are?
Man, I mean, I'm not in the market like I wish I would, but I don't think so. Just because most of the people taking pictures are younger people,
Younger?
right?
Can you lock it?
I mean, yeah, yeah. Most people taking pictures are younger, so I think as long as I feel like you have to start off at least a little bit sociable. You have to like kind of get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, once you get the ball rolling, speaking from past experience, like in the past years, once you get the ball rolling, it
I
rolls.
think there's a misconception by a lot of people that like young photographers aren't professional. Even like I've been in events where there's older people, you know, like over their 40s. I like a wedding, and I mean, I think I already look young as it is, but it's like people will think I'm like 19 or 20, and then they'll come up to me kind of with this like,
No shit. Have you looked at yourself? No wonder why they think that.
So
who has
Chava
a girl
is the
and
bully
who
here.
Who has a girl and who doesn't?
Oh damn, bro! You're gonna go there right away?
Don't come for me, boy.
Who
He
has
just
a
said he
beard
was
and who
heartbroken,
doesn't?
I don't have a
man.
beard.
None of us do. So
Stupid.
I'm just being dumb today, man.
No, but I think he's going through it, bro.
No, I'm just being dumb.
That's why he's sipping. It's okay, man. Let out the pain.
The aggression is coming
Yeah.
out.
No, but I've been in events, you know, where some of the adults are like surprised that I like do photography full time or
Oh,
something.
man.
Cause they're kind of like, oh, aren't you like really young? And I'm like, well, I'm 26, first of all. But yeah, I mean, I guess I am young in like that market. Cause a lot of people think photographer and they think that older person. And I think that's stupid though, because it's like someone's age, you know, there's young people who are very mature, probably more mature than people who are older than them. So it's like you should never have that attitude of like, oh, because the person's young, like they're not professional. Because that person can be probably more professional than like a 35, 40-year-old.
I mean, I read this story. I mean, it doesn't have to do with photography, but I read this story This kid dropped out of high school as a sophomore because he made $2 million that year because he learned how to code.
Wow.
I mean, it just shows that it's not about age, you know?
It's not, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the same reaction. Like I said, I was a junior doing all of that stuff. And I was, like, alone for the most time. So, like, yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, when you think of, like, I think any profession, really, like, when you think of anything at a professional level, you think someone pretty older.
Someone's, like, older.
If I had to jump into this, I would say no, but then it depends.
I mean, yeah,
you're 19, you probably know a bunch of people, like, from your high school and stuff, right?
That's true.
So you can be like, hey, you need senior pictures, I can do that for you, you know? Like, you have that connection. You have people that you know of, you know? Like, in my experience, I was, I don't know, 21, 22 when I started. But I didn't grow up here, so I didn't know anybody, you know? So that was kind of hard. And then being young on top of that, that was, like, a factor, I think.
And I mean, didn't you say you were like taking English classes too?
I did,
like,
yes.
So I
didn't even know how to speak English. You know,
So
it was like
had,
it was a hustle, right?
You had
but
like the language barrier.
Hey man,
then
where were you at?
Top being young on top of that, I feel like it was like a little bit of a limitation, you know. But I definitely think it's an advantage being young because you know so much people.
Yeah,
and so many people that you know for a fact they're gonna need photos because they're gonna do senior pictures, you know.
And I mean, the thing is too, like, there's some really great photographers that are older. But the thing is, they're stuck in the style that it was like 10 years ago, you know? Like, there's a big, I mean, look at Pinterest, look at Instagram, look at whatever.
Yeah.
Go back 10 years, it's way different.
Yeah, they're stuck in the past. I'm telling you, bro, even at weddings, there's like that one uncle who was like a photographer or like still is. And then they're like, where are your reflectors and your light diffusions and all this? And I'm like, I don't need that, bro.
We got
like,
cameras.
What are you talking about? And then he's like, you just bring your camera and your lens? I'm like, yeah. And like a pro mist filter on it, and that's it. And they're like, oh,
those mist filters.
They'll hit you with back in my day, I used to like having D-stop filters and this and that. And I'm like, that's cool. So are you like a photographer now? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, maybe you should get with the times.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're not.
You gotta be mean, though.
I mean, I don't really say it like that to them, but I'm just like, well, things have changed. Like, that's literally what I tell those people. I'm like, things have changed, man. It's different now.
Because even when I started, you know, if you try to do like a lot of editing to a photo that you took with like a older Canon camera or whatever, you know, like in my experience, like the way I used to edit, I would see it, you know, like it wasn't like great. So it would have been helpful to have like reflectors or something, you know. But now the cameras are great. You can really push them to the limit, and it's gonna look amazing. You know.
With the camera that I was using before, if you didn't use a flash in like somewhat not sunset conditions, there's no way you were getting like
because there
decent lighting,
very grainy and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the technology has gone up. There's like a ton of lens filters you can get that do so much.
That Pro Mist is so nice.
Yeah, I love the I don't think I'm ever gonna not shoot with Pro Mists anymore.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I've been using it.
I was waiting for the one for my 35 to come in.
Yeah.
And I did a shoot, I think yesterday.
I used it for a while.
Or the day without it. Without it, and I realized like when I went to Lightroom that I'm like, I hate not shooting with Pro Mist.
It's a big difference with video, but with photography, it's just like it's huge. The difference is huge.
Yeah, it just I don't know, man. I like the soft like highlights, but then it kind of contrasts your photo, and it's like that's already just through the camera. Like you can obviously go like play with dehazing in Lightroom and make it more like that, but to me it's like I can't shoot without Pro Mist anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's just your style. If you look at any of your pictures, you could definitely tell you use the Pro.
Yeah,
that's your style.
I gotta have it on deck now, man.
Yeah,
I feel like for video, he's like, yeah.
we both looked at him.
Yeah, we're like, because I know he was using one.
Yeah, it's because I started using it. I was really liking it, but then I stopped using it, and I don't know.
I think I got my first one back in like November last year, and I've never taken it off that lens like ever since then. Like ever since I got that Sigma 18 to 35, like it's had the Pro Mist on it since I bought it.
So you shoot really wide.
Yeah, well. I mean, a lot of the times, I do. I just now got the 35 Sigma, which is like a 50 millimeter equivalent.
Oh, which kinda, right, your crop sensor.
Yeah, which kind of takes me back to...
switch up that style.
Yeah, well, when I first started photography, all I shot was on a 50, like the little Canon Nifty 50. So I used to always shoot in that tight, window. But then I remember I bought the Sigma 35 for my Canon, which was actually a 35 equivalent. So that's when I got more into like a wider shooting. But I picked up the 35 mainly just for like solo stuff. I still am probably gonna shoot with both cameras and keep the 18 and 35 too, just because like certain things, like certain backgrounds, I want to show more of the background, or people like their outfit highlighted. So even with the 35, I try to like back up.
Having that negative space is really nice for some pictures.
Yeah, I try to get them at least like, hey, here's a full body shot, so you can highlight your whole outfit and stuff. But I just shot with it earlier, and I had a lot of fun with it. Like just going back to that tight window into it, because it's like a 47 on my camera.
Yeah, and it has pretty good compression. The tighter you go too.
Yeah,
so it's like pretty cool effect that it gives.
I think with my camera being crop sensor, you get even more of like a bokeh on the back too. Because I was shooting at 2.0 and it was like, oh shit. Yeah, it was like hella sharp. I was like, damn, dude, that's kind of wild. But even like the Sigma 18 to 35, like you can do 1.8 all around. So if you shoot at 18, you're technically shooting at like 24. But you can still get like a decent. But once you zoom in with that damn thing, it's like, oh crap, dude. Like you get like really, really good bokeh on that lens. So
that's pretty cool.
Even though I sometimes don't shoot that tight on that lens, I think the tightest I'll go is like a 35 equivalent, and then just leave it at that. Because it's like I'll just lock it at like 24, but in equivalent to 35. Yeah. And I was gonna get a wider lens, like a 20 millimeter, to have it be like a 35 equivalent, but I'm like, I technically already have one. Yeah. I just have to zoom in a bit, which is okay.
And I mean, if you're happy with the compression, that's all it really matters.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to have two.
If it's sharp enough that
solid
you don't need
lenses, like I wanted one for weddings, which is the 18 and 35 for sure. I'm always gonna carry that at a wedding. For groups or like couples, I'd probably use that one. But if I'm just doing like one person, then I'm probably gonna stick with the 35. And then at weddings, just kind of take both. And for certain things, use this one. For certain things, use that one, and all that. So I'm like, I think I'm good on lenses now for a while.
I think I bought a good amount of lenses too. I like with the kit that my dad and I were using, we had 3 lenses that we were really using. It was one of them was just like the the basic starter kit. What's it called?
Oh, like the starter kit lens? Yeah. It
was like, I don't know. It was like 18 to 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I really fell in love with the 35 and also an 85. So I went out and got those. And
I've
also
never used an 85.
Oh man, they're so fun. Yeah. They're so. The thing is though, I noticed is I probably won't be using it much if I start to get busy at all. Because the thing is, you have to be pretty far away.
Yeah.
It comes out really sharp, really nice.
But you have to be far.
To be shooting the kind of people that we'd be shooting, you have to be like close to them and make them comfortable, so you can't really be that far.
Yeah, the 85 is like a pretty far
distance. to get a full body shot, I probably have to be, I mean, you guys can't tell, but like they'd have to be at the door and I'd probably have to take a couple
corner
steps
to
back.
corner.
Well, take this room as reference. Like when I use a 35, I have to step in the restroom and shoot from there.
Yeah, no, you have to step way back for an 85. Yeah. So it doesn't really work out unless they already are pretty comfortable behind a camera or in front of a camera anyways. But it's really nice when you get to use it.
Yeah, I think like 50 would be the highest I go, to be honest. Like focal length wise, like I think that's the farthest I want to be away. Yeah. Without trying to like move around so damn much and like.
It was also really good with weddings. Just because
you're far away.
You'd be able to get far away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. And I also got a pretty wide angle one. I got a 16 to 24. Okay. Because I've been shooting a little bit of real estate too.
Oh yeah, that you need a lens like that.
You need a wide lens for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I was thinking about this goes back to the question about being 19 and getting into the market. I don't think age is like a factor, but I feel like just getting into the market is getting kind of hard.
Yeah, it's pretty saturated.
There's a lot of people. There's so many good ones, so it's just kind of hard. And I see it a lot in people. They get discouraged sometimes.
Oh yeah, big time. I've spoken to people privately through like Instagram who just messaged me and they're like, "Oh, how do you get as busy as you are? Like, how do you get clients?" And I'm like, "Well, dude, I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, it didn't happen overnight. Yeah. I built my clientele throughout that time, and then I kind of got out there more and like got more people who like knew who I was. But some people think like they're gonna start and it's gonna be that way, and it's like it's not.
It's really-
I mean, it's like that whole thing that happened with like YouTube and stuff, you know, like or like Vine and all of that
I
crazy
see what
stuff
you're
that
saying.
happened. But like what you don't realize is like they've been doing that for a long time. It didn't just blow up, and you know, like they had that big break that really like put them over the edge, but they've been at that
But
grind.
then if you think back, that's a good example. If you think back, a lot of people are like, oh, everybody's doing it now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of hard to get into it now. But then 2 years from now, it's going to be even harder. So that's not really an excuse to not do it, you know? If anything, it's more of an excuse to do it and then do it a lot.
And then just keep trying.
If
I
you
mean,
really wanna
I
get
feel like
into
there's
it,
two
you know?
things with that though. Like, if you're in Reno and you're listening to this and you're trying to get in that and you're kind of uninspired because of that, dude, Reno in like 2 years is gonna be not the same
Huge.
Reno.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not. It's
Like,
expanding
I mean, look
so
at the
much.
construction that's going on, right? Like, dude,
Yeah.
Reno in 2 years is not gonna be the same Reno that it is right now.
Bro,
First
It's
of all.
expanding for
And second of all, like, I think quarantine really took the creative side out of everybody. And I feel like that's why there's been so many photographers. And I feel like, I mean, like, I'm sure everybody likes it because it's fun and it's really nice. But, like, how many of those are going to be sticking to it, you know?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but then again, there's always going to be a new photographer. There's always going to be more and more and more. But it's like you said, if you don't do it, you
Okay,
don't.
so I feel like there's a lot of people in Reno. And like you said, Reno is expanding, you know?
Dude, it's like
So,
crazy.
There's so many opportunities, like, no matter what your price range is, you know? You're going to have clientele.
Or like,
you have
don't
to
think you because you have a lot of followers, you're gonna have a lot of clientels, or because I've seen people with 300-400 followers who are busy every damn day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't determine anything.
No, for
or
sure.
you know, like I don't know, to the point of like price ranges. Like sometimes I used to feel like I was undercharging, and then I'm like, oh damn, like what if people don't hire me? But then I would start moving up my pricing, and I would see that people are still hiring me. But then I hear from people who are super busy who charge like double what I do, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter. Like people are gonna, if they like your stuff, you know, they'll pay you what you charge if they like it enough. I think.
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. Like, compare. I don't want to like offend anybody wherever you live, but like compare like let's say like downtown Reno or like Sun Valley or anyone or like Double Diamond. Like there's gonna be people no matter where your price range is. You know,
Yeah.
like there's dude. It's crazy. I saw this pretty recently. The average income for Reno Sparks area is like 65 grand
Really?
or yeah, 65 grand.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's like
Yeah.
20 something. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't make that. My parents
Yeah.
don't make that. You
Yeah,
know.
that's a lot of money.
What you don't realize is like there's a lot of people in here that like are at whatever price range you're gonna be at.
That is a great point.
That baffled
Yeah.
me first of all. Like what? That's the average here?
Yeah,
There's
I
some
think.
people. Okay, so there's some people that think that I don't charge enough, and I also agree with that. You know?
definitely don't,
I'm
man.
definitely want to move it up a bit, especially now that I'm going full time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that can't afford my price. So for those people,
I mean, you have to
course.
look at that's your business, man. Especially now that you're going full time, you can't just like be upping your prices like crazy, like without taking it kind of slow. You know, like
Right.
Yeah.
now that's your living. You can't. You have to
You can't
take it kind of
undercharge,
safe.
but then don't like raise your prices by like $200.
You can't risk that. You know, it's just that's
Like
not
that's kind of
smart.
wild too.
True.
As much as photography and everything should be a passion, that's your business.
exactly.
Once it's your business, you have to treat it with a business sense of like you can't make dumb decisions.
There's
'cause, like
also
that's
a-
your livelihood, you know.
I feel like a lot of people want to get into it and they want to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah, that's
Right away.
like such a bad mindset.
You know
Like,
what I
you
mean?
shouldn't
So-
really have that.
You know how many years it took? I lost money over the years. I lost money. I lost a lot of money. I wasn't making
man.
anything.
Don't even
you know?
talk
I used to be like
losing money.
struggling financially years ago, bro.
You
Like,
you buy
it's bad.
gear and then you do a shoe and it doesn't even pay for anything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's like super long term. I think honestly, a job's a job. Photography's a job. If you want to get into it for the money, you can get into it for the money, but don't expect it to be like
overnight, yeah.
you know, overnight. Like that's where you need to like really humble yourself. Like it doesn't matter how good you are, you're never gonna get busy like crazy, you know? Like
Right.
Chava's super good, but he said how many did you have? Like 8 photo shoots in like 2 months or something you had said a while
last
ago?
year.
Last year.
Like
8 in 3 months or
I
something
need
like that.
You gotta humble yourself. It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen overnight. If you want to get into it for the money, that's it's a job. It's a job. You're not gonna get in a warehouse job because you like it. No, you need the money.
Yeah, exactly.
But just don't expect to do it overnight. Don't expect to be super happy
good
either.
to just know that it takes sometimes longer for some people and sometimes less for other people. Like, that's okay. Like, if you start blowing up in 5-6 months, like, good for you. That's great. Like, you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For you to be blowing up like that. But if it takes you a couple of years, like, that's fine.
That's normal.
Just let it take however long it's meant to take you. And don't try to, like, rush it. Do it because you like doing it. And if you can make it a livelihood eventually, then that's great.
Yeah. That's the goal. Like,
I never thought I was going to make money from this shit when I started.
Right.
Like, I was taking pictures of downtown in Tahoe, bro. For fun, you know what I mean?
And at the end of the day, it's like, does it even matter if you don't make money? If you like it, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, once you dedicate your time to being full-time, like, you have to just make good business decisions. Because you can love photography as your job, but, like, the word job is in there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be messing around and not make good business decisions if that's your livelihood.
No, for sure.
Like, if it's just a hobby, then who cares? You have another job to support your hobby. But if you want to make your hobby your career, then you have to be smart. Because it's like, what are you going to do if, you go full-time and then you realize in 4-6 months that you didn't make good decisions, and now you're, like, back to square one, and you're like, oh, I guess I gotta just, do it as a hobby or something. And there's a big difference between people who shoot as, like, a hobby versus, like, they shoot paid stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who shoot people, but it's more just like, oh, I have a creative idea, and, I'm a creative at heart, and I want to do this through my photography. Or there's people who are like, I just want to shoot wildlife or astrophotography or landscape.
And those wildlife people, they make money.
That's dude. You work for, like, National Geographic. Holy shit! Yeah, low key, I used to want to be a wildlife photographer years ago because I've always been into, like, Nat Geo. But I don't know. I don't think I like.
That's scary.
Wildlife.
Imagine just, like, stalking a puma that's, like, stalking you.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like, I'm supposed to go to Yellowstone soon. Well, I was supposed to go next week, but it's, like, covered in snow over there. So apparently they don't open the roads till late April. So I even told this dude to come with me in May, like in early May.
I was down for it, man.
I was down. What do you mean you're down? Are you down now? It's just a month later.
Oh, no, I'm still down, but I was excited
he
to
was
go.
Yeah, he was gonna go next week because it's the last day's Friday. But I called the park and they're kind of like, yeah, man.
Well, you made me quit, first of all.
No, I didn't. I
Just
told
like,
them that.
We're gonna go on this trip.
I told them, like, hey, if you leave before the trip, you're welcome to come. But he never even said that.
And then you fucking tell me that it's not happening, bro.
Did you hear how surprised I was when he said it was this Friday? Because I didn't even know. So shut your ass up, bro. You didn't even tell me that this Friday was your last day till today.
Man, that's crazy. How it's just like,
you clown
I mean,
ass.
when you know, though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
he's acting like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because honestly, I was looking at, like, my summer, right? Like, how everything's planned out. I'm like, bro, if I have a job, this is not gonna work out. Like, I'm gonna be one of those that never sends out anything because when am I gonna edit? When am I gonna do these things? And I was like, I guess this is it. I have to.
That's so funny, bro. I feel like mine and his deciding to go full-time stories are very similar because I was like that too. Like, in February of 2019, when I was getting really busy, I was looking at the upcoming months with, like, weddings and grads, and I'm like, bro, like, screw this. I don't want to be at a damn job 40 hours a week and get it, like, take that away.
Yeah.
Like, that was when I got to the point where I realized, like, being a full-time photographer was, like, the goal. So that I was like, yeah, I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think when you know, you know.
Yeah, I
but
put 2 and 2, and I'm like.
But you have to be smart too, like I told him. And, like, I mean, I know he took the right steps. Like, he looked at numbers and he realized, like, I'm going to be fine. Because you have to be fine financially first.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just going to go for it and be broke, Like, do it when you know you're going to be okay. You're not going to be struggling to make, like, ends meet for a couple months. But, that's honestly, like, anybody who's thinking of going full-time, that'd be my only advice. Is, like, be smart about your money before you go full-time. And save up for a little bit, maybe have, like, a 3-month backup plan or something, like, and then test the waters for those first 3 months. And if it goes well, it does. If it doesn't, then maybe that's just not what you're supposed to do.
Another thing too, I mean, I can't I'm not full time, obviously, but like I would imagine a big thing is ego, right? Like you go full time and you're the big shot, and wow, I'm super busy, and next thing you know, you're not. Like
Your
you
ego
gotta,
can go down.
you gotta
Yeah.
be able to like accept the fact that like, okay, you know what, like I'm busy right now, I'm good right now, but I need to like accept the fact that if I need to pick up a part time, if I need
Then
to
you
go
have to.
back, then you
Right.
have to, and like that's
Dude, that
okay.
was me last year. When COVID started happening, I'm like, I'm gonna go work somewhere then
Yeah.
because this shit is just not gonna work. But then, you know, thankfully the year went how it went and I was fine. But it's like if I ever get into a slow season, like I'm not gonna be opposed to picking up something rather than being freaking broke for
Yeah.
4 or 5 months. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of feel bad for like saying this, but some people will tell me like, oh, you know, I can't wait to go full time or I want to be full time, but I see the decisions they're making. And to me, it doesn't strike me as someone who will get there. And it's like, just because you're a photographer does not mean that 100% you're going to be a full time one.
Definitely.
Like, it only happens to certain people. And I think it happens to people who know what they're doing, people who are good about marketing themselves, people who have a good rep in town, people who know how to use word of mouth, people who
that
are
are
nice to their
dedicated.
clients. Like, all those things factor in. Like, you can be the greatest photographer in the damn planet. But if you're not good at getting yourself clientele or having consistent work, like, good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you may take the best pictures ever, but are you getting paid?
Yeah.
You know, like that just, but like it is what it is, you know, and it kind of sucks because some people, like, they automatically think that because they got a camera that one day they're going to be full time. And it's like, are you doing the things to get there though? Or are you just, you know, you got into photography because you love it, but you're not slowly building it up to be your full-time job. Like if you are, then that's great and you can get there because anybody can.
Yeah.
Anybody can go buy a damn camera and if they put in the work, they can do it. Like that's just how it is. But then there are other circumstances where not everyone can be a great photographer. Like, sorry, like it's just the harsh reality. You know, like you may do it for years and years and years, and if it's just not something that you click with and
Yeah,
you're not that good
definitely.
at, then that's it. It's like people who want to be, like they have some sort of creativeness in them where they're like, I like to draw and paint. That's great. But are you that good at drawing or are you that good at painting?
I mean,
Like,
honestly, you don't even have to be good at photography. You don't have to be good at painting, but it's like the whole thing of like, are you gonna be dedicated to put the work in and like get out there?
Yeah.
Because I've seen art that like not to offend, but like it's not like Picasso. I've seen photography. It's not like some crazy stuff, you know. But like it's just like who you are as a person, and if you're willing to put that work in, if you're willing to like grind it out, because it's a grind, you know.
Do you ever feel like people that hire you, I mean, of course, the photos that you take matter. You know, they have
Yeah.
to be nice photos, but sometimes I just feel like the photos are like the last thing that they care about. You know, like they care about you being reliable.
Oh yeah.
They care about
definitely.
you, like we talked about, delivering the work, putting in the work, being on time, like all these things that are not necessarily photography related, but then those are the things that are gonna get you clients, good connections, good rep.
Exactly. Hey
Yeah.
man, you can get a LUT, and there's some pretty good. Not LUTs, presets. There's some pretty good presets out there. You can take a picture, slap it on, and you're good. You
Yeah.
know, that's enough. But like, you have to be able to do everything else.
Yeah.
You know.
exactly. Like it's not just gonna do it for you automatically.
Yeah.
Like you still might have to tweak certain things.
Yeah,
or-
obviously.
some people buy a preset and think like, oh, it's gonna make my photo great, but it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not how it works. Like you gotta make sure you shoot it a certain way, compose it right, like do all
Yeah.
these things, and the filter might give it a good look, but there's still so
Yeah,
many
obviously.
other things. You know, it's just
A lot of people get surprised when I'm on my phone a lot, you know, all the time, and so I tend to reply pretty fast to people.
yeah, same.
And
don't
they're
get how
like,
people
"Oh,
lag."
thank you for replying so fast," you know. And I'm like, "Well, isn't this like normal for everybody?"
Right.
Then I realized that some people take days to reply, you know, and so
I'm like,
you
you
don't
have
think
your
that-
phone with you.
you don't think that's a big deal. But if you take a long time to reply, then those people might not recommend you because
Especially
of
if that's
that.
your business, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's when I
there's a
started, yeah.
reason why your phone is a business write-off.
Yeah,
So that
exactly.
you can use it for your business.
Exactly.
It's like when
That's
you
facts.
call and you try to get customer service, right? If they have you waiting there, you're gonna be pissed. You know
That
what
was
I mean?
me like 2 hours ago.
So at least be like, hey, can I get back to you later?
Yeah.
Or those things matter, man. So I don't know, like going forward, maybe anybody out there, just be
No,
good with
that's
that.
good advice, because when I used to do it more just for fun, or I was barely starting to get paid, I did kind of lag on replying to people's messages. Like I would see it, but I would reply like 2 days later, and a lot of the times it would be like, "Oh, we actually found someone else."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh shit! Well, there goes that opportunity."
Yeah.
You know, because it's like maybe they're in a rush. You know, like maybe they're just looking for somebody, so they don't got 2-3 days to wait on you to
Yeah.
reply. Like, be quick on it. You know, it takes 10 seconds, bro, to reply to a message. Is the way I see it. And yeah, it's funny because people to this day, like, I'll have someone message me, and as soon as I see the notification, I go click on it. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I respond to
Yeah.
them like a minute after they
Yeah.
send it, and they're like, oh wow, that was quick. And I'm like, well, I mean, dude, this is kind of my job. Like, I have to treat it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I gotta reply to you like ASAP, because I'm not trying to lose on that opportunity just because I for some reason want to not reply to you so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned ego, and I feel like sometimes people are like, "Oh, I can't reply that fast. Like
Oh,
I can't seem like desperate." And it's like, how do you seem desperate, bro? You're just replying to something. Like, why are you gonna purposely take 2 to 3 days on a message
Yeah.
you saw? Like, it takes 10 seconds to
Man.
just literally be like, okay,
It's crazy how normal that is, though. Like, even me, so when I celebrated my girlfriend's and I anniversary,
Oh, the one you didn't remember? Oh, yeah, that one, right?
hey man, I'm nervous.
you didn't have to do them like that.
It's hot in here. There's a lot of lights. It's
a lot of cameras.
Anyways, there's like
There's
7 cameras. Anyways,
I'm just playing.
we booked a room, and I called the hotel, and they were like, I guess they were busy. You know, obviously there's busyness. I was like, okay, I'll call in the morning, because it was pretty late. It was like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Maybe they're closed. I was like, okay, they'll call in the morning. 2 minutes, literally, like 2 minutes later, they called me. Hey, we got a call. I was like, dang. So it's crazy. It's crazy just like how normal it is for anybody. Like, you're going to think that no matter what. Like, dang, you replied that fast? But like,
Yeah.
man, like that's a business. Like,
Because
how
it's kind
are you
of
not going to take it that
people
way?
to like lag, which I don't know, man. I've never been one to want to lag on people like at
guess
all.
so.
Like, in
I mean, I
general.
can't, not even like private conversations, like personal ones anyways. Like, how can you like not be curious about what they said? Like on
Yeah.
Snapchat, where you don't know what they said until you open it. Like,
Yeah.
how are you not curious to
Like,
what they
even
said?
I mean, I only really like text my girlfriend every day, but as soon as I see the message, I reply to her. I'm not just like, oh, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes. Like, for what?
Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I just, unless I'm doing something, then I won't. You know, like if I'm doing a shoot, she knows I'm not gonna respond
Yeah.
for like an hour, but that's okay. But it's like, if I'm just at home not doing anything and you text me, like whoever it is, like, why would I not reply to
Yeah.
you as soon as I see the message? Like,
I don't know.
So, like I said, the photos are probably the last thing that they care about. you
yeah,
know?
man. So like, all
If you
the-
offer a good service, then they have a good experience, then they come back to you, then they refer you.
Like, I think the recipe to getting a lot of clientele and being a successful photographer is obviously have good quality work. We're not asking you to be the greatest photographer in the world, but like have good enough work, you know, work that's distinctive to you. Like,
That's consistent.
That's consistent. Like, if people see it, they know that's you, like right off the bat. Like, I think that's, or should be every photographer's goal of like, oh, somebody sees my edit and they know that's me. You know, like, it takes a long time for some people, it takes less for some people. But then obviously you also have to be aware that being a full-time photographer is a customer service job.
Oh,
like,
dude.
you have to provide good customer service.
It's
You have to
sales,
make
it's customer service.
you have to make
it's
their
marketing.
experience enjoyable, an experience that they're going to recommend to someone, not make them feel awkward, make them feel comfortable when they're there, because most people aren't used to the damn camera being in their face. Like, that's not a normal thing. You know, that's why people book shoots, because that's not something that happens all the time. Be someone who communicates with your clientele as well.
Yeah.
Like, if they're asking you anything, like, don't take a long time to reply. I would say send people their pictures back sooner than faster, or sooner than later.
As soon as you can.
Try to, as soon as you can get it done. No one's saying do it
sooner-
overnight.
The sooner you get them back, it's gonna be like you said, like, oh wow, they got them back really fast. my friend over there got them back like a week after I did. Like,
yeah, and
all of that adds up, you know?
People
Oh, yeah.
recommend
Big
you
time.
so much for that.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
word
yeah.
of mouth. We were talking. I don't know if we were rolling already or not, but word of mouth is crazy.
It's huge, especially here in Reno because it's getting bigger, but it's still a small city. So your name can go around really fast, and that's going back to what we said about word of mouth. You know, can be good or bad.
Yeah.
Where it's like, be careful how you are and what you do because your name can get out there really fast in a bad way. Also.
Yeah, I've heard like it's like especially with all the boudoir that's going around. I'm seeing it's like becoming kind of popular. I saw on this Facebook group. There's like this photography Facebook group. I saw you posted in it too.
Oh yeah.
I think I know what you're
I
talking
did
about.
just want to.
I saw this this lady post that she was like in a session and the photographer just made her super uncomfortable.
Oh, I saw that.
Really.
It was just like, man, like you just screwed yourself. Like you're
Yeah.
not gonna get anybody after that.
We had a conversation about that a long time ago with I think the episode with Chosen.
I
Because-
remember.
Yeah, we were talking about how there are photographers out there that do that tend to have a bad rep because they just do it to themselves. Though it's like
Yeah.
we know it's not a normal like thing. You know, like not everyone can just be like I'm a boudoir photographer because
Yeah.
I think it's just a totally different side of photography.
Yeah.
You know, I've just never been interested in it, so I've never done it.
I've been doing a little bit of it, but I only do it if I'm
Your
asked
approach.
to do it. You know.
Yeah,
I don't
like
reach
and
out to that shit.
like I don't know, just to some people it doesn't catch their attention. I'm one of them. Like
Yeah.
nothing against people that do it. It's just it's not my thing.
Would you
just
shoot it?
like, huh?
Would you if somebody came up to you?
I years ago I had some people ask, but I was just like, go to this person. They do it.
They know how to do
Like
it. Yeah.
that's their thing. You know, it's just like what we talked
Makes
to,
sense.
when we talked about car stuff. It's like, you know, I'm not opposed to doing it because it's fun.
Yeah.
But I would much rather recommend someone who that's their specialty because they're going to give you the best quality work. You know, like come to me for a couple session, a solo session, a family, like engagement, wedding. I'll gladly do all those because that's my field of photography, you know. But I'd rather recommend people who do stuff normally that I don't because that's just their lane, you know, and I'd rather recommend somebody who does that.
Yeah, that way they get good work that they can be happy with.
Yeah,
and
like
then the actual person
I
could
haven't
do.
been asked to do some sort of boudoir thing for like 5 years because I've never
You
once
just don't
posted
do it,
one or
yeah.
done one. So people kind of know now that I don't. So I never get approached anymore. But back when I used to, I mean, like, oh, go to this person. They, you know, they do a good job. And it's just one of those things where, yeah, I've heard a lot of bad things about some of those people in that market. But then I've also heard really good things about some of those
Yeah.
people in that market. Like there's some that are like, oh, I shot with so-and-so and he's great. Like, you know, doesn't make you feel uncomfortable at all. Like just very
That's
quick
the
and
goal.
easy.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
You want people to
Exactly.
say he's great. You know. So just
I mean, no
go-
matter what you're doing,
Go
definitely.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody recommends you, then that person recommends them. It's just like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's happened to any of you, but where you like do one shoot for one person and you get like 5 clients from that one.
I mean,
you
it's
know?
just like it's word of mouth.
Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
word of mouth.
Like you'll do the next one, and then that person's like, "Oh, look, the one that did this person's, I did with them too, so you should go to them." And it's like you get like 3,
Yeah.
4 different sessions from one person because they just said that shooting with you was a good experience. So it's like, don't make it hard for people, man. Like, just be a nice person.
You got any
Don't
other
get busy.
questions for this man?
Oh yeah, I have like 4 more.
Well, let's do it quick because I don't want to be editing for days. But
You feeling lazy today or what?
it's because he's 3 claws
do you
in.
have a focal length preference? Like, what's your favorite lens?
So it used to, huh?
wide, right? You said
So
wide.
I used to really I shot a lot with the 85, like a lot, but I'm like kind of getting into that wide angle, like
Somewhere like 35-24.
now, yeah, like 24. I'm getting more into that wide too.
Somebody said that your composition is really great. How would you say you got your eye for composition? It's a really
I mean-
good question. Holy crap.
Who has that? Okay, so I mean, I guess I don't know. I feel like
of the questions, and then
I'll memorize the other one. It's fine.
okay.
I already memorized it.
I feel like it just comes to you through practice, right? Like you don't really. I mean, I guess yeah, you can like do some research and like rule of thirds, stuff like that, right? But I mean, if you see something cool, you're just gonna. I feel like when I'm driving down the road, Do you guys get that where you just like, oh wow, that's a cool spot?
Yeah, you
That
scope out a lot.
You just like you train your eye after doing it for so long that your eye just like kind of sees.
You're constantly
those
like
shots,
searching
you know?
for things. Yep.
Like
No,
you know
that
that
happens a
thing where
lot.
it's like you're always like this, like, but like that's in your head, you know?
It's funny you say that because the only other people I've met who have that type of feeling when they're driving somewhere are skateboarders and graffiti writers. Because graffiti writers will be like, "This is a dope spot."
Man,
Not
those
that
guys are crazy getting
you
on the
know,
bridges. Imagine that.
Like when I was in high school, I used to be really into it.
Yeah.
And I used to have friends who were like really, really into it, as in like these dudes would go out every damn night or something, you know? And they would tell me all the time that they would drive around and be like, "Oh, that'd be a dope spot." So then they would go hit up that spot. Or they would visualize like what they want to do there. And then I have a lot of friends who skate who are the same way. They're like, "Oh, dude, I saw this like two-stair or like even a full rail and blah 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 blah," and they're like, "I was just kind of driving and I figured this would be a dope spot to skate in," and I'm like, that's kind of sick.
Yeah,
how,
I was shooting a
kinda
video
put
with
that.
this coworker of mine that he skates, and we were already like shooting, and we were over at some stairs by the event center, and he was like, "Oh dang," we were like driving to the event center. He's like, "Oh crap, wait, go back. I saw some stairs." I was like, "Some stairs?"
You're like, what?
So yeah, I mean it's like the same thing. Like skateboarders, they see a pair of stairs. They see some stairs, and like, okay, that might be a shot. That might be a trick. That might be a
Yeah, they're like, maybe I can
might
do
be a line.
tray
It's
flip
a
or
thing.
just do like a nollie heel, like whatever kind of trick that comes to mind to them. For us, it's more of like, oh, maybe I can do this type of session here with this kind of look.
I feel like it's just experience. It's like experience. It's
Honestly,
just getting used to it.
I feel like this might be helpful for someone. When I first started, I used to be really focused on location, right? So I would show up to a place and be like, "Oh, I've seen these other photographers shoot here before, and they shot here, so I'm gonna shoot here. I'm gonna try to replicate that, right?" But then I would shoot it. It didn't look the same, and I was like, "What's going on? What is it?" Right? So then I realized that every time I go to a shoot now, I might show up to the same place, everything's the same, right? But then I'm looking at light. Light is the main factor for me,
Dude, light is just
you know.
so essential.
So if we are at the spot where I got the best pictures that I've ever taken in my life, but it's a certain time of day, then I don't try to replicate
same.
that, you know. So you gotta look at light, and then sometimes I'm at a session and I'm like looking towards the sky, looking towards the trees, being like, "Oh, look at the shadows here, look at the fucking the sunlight coming in or whatever," right? So then I realized that light is the main factor, right? So I feel like for some people out there, don't even worry about your location. You can be wherever.
No man, I saw what was it? The headshots that you did, right? That on the bridge.
Right. Yo,
Like,
those are hard.
dude. I like that. First
Those
of
are
all.
hard, yeah.
The pictures that you took after the headshots, not the headshots, but you took like some after was like less professional ones. Like the lady had a hat and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember
Those
those.
were just like on the side of the. I could tell what building that was.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you don't need to be anywhere. It's just like if
Yeah.
you have a good angle on the person, it doesn't matter what the background. Well, I mean to an extent, right?
Yeah.
But
No,
you could
it
shoot
really-
anywhere. It's just how you shoot the person.
Honestly, these days I show up and I don't even care about where I'm at. I just care about the light, how it's gonna hit their face, how it's gonna affect certain things.
I try to like rotate between places and at least go to like 4 to 5 places a week, you know, or like let's say I have like 4 shoots on a Saturday, I try to keep all 4 of them in a different spot just to
I
kind
need
of
to go
like
to more
mix it up.
places. I don't know very many.
You know, like
places.
depending on like the time of day, you know, like for sunset, I would be like, let's go to like Collin, Verdi, Donner, Washoe
Yeah.
Valley, maybe even Moon Rocks if I can make it. Like those would be like my sunset.
Moon
Let's
Rock
go
is cool
there.
at sunset.
Yeah, and then like morning time, I'm like, we can go to Rancho Collin. There's a wooded area at Verdi that's nice. Then like a few hours before sunset, I'm still willing to go to like more open spots, like even like Verdi to an extent, or Donner Lake, because there's a lot of places over there where you can shoot at like harsh lighting,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
With all the trees and stuff.
But yeah, I try to switch it, and sometimes if the shoots are very like back to back, then I do kind of keep the areas like super close to each other. But if they're kind of spread out, like if I have I like 9, 12, 3, and 5,
Yeah.
then I'm like I'm just gonna separate all of them. And some people though, they
got their spot.
They have the spot that they want, so it's like I'll respect that and I'll go here. Unless like it's gonna look like crap that day, then it's like, hey, let me just give you some advice and let's not go there. You know, like sometimes people will try to make me go to like the big open field in Verda at like 10 in the morning, and I'm like, no,
it's super bright.
I'm like
Tahoe when it's super harsh and they want the water.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I can't do that. Like, I just your pictures are not gonna look how you want them to look.
Do you wanna have maybe the trees in no, I want the water.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, it's like it's mid daylight. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But last question that someone had. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember it now because this motherfucker's like, we gotta remember it.
Yeah, I swear every time.
If you have like a dream place that you would want to go shoot video or photo at, like somewhere you've always wanted to go.
I feel like
El Rancho.
For maybe call him that. For photo, it'd probably be Japan.
Oh, that'd be sick.
For photo,
I agree. Japan would be so dope.
For video, it'd have to be Iceland.
Oof. I want to go to Iceland, period.
Yeah. Iceland is just
Iceland is insane, bro. Drone shots in Iceland, nuts.
There's so many things to do over there.
I'm trying to, but Iceland is on very harsh COVID lockdown right now, so no trips to Iceland till probably like next year, because their restrictions are crazy. I understand though, because like they're a freaking island, bro. Like if you go get people sick out there, like good luck to them, you know. So it's like they can't just have anybody showing up like how they used to. But then it also sucks for them because they rely so much on tourism, like the economy there. So I'm sure Iceland's kind of going through it right now. Yeah,
there's so many clubs out there. It's all tourists.
Yeah, it's like when you go over there, like people just take tours of the whole place, and obviously mostly photographers go or anyone else or people who like hiking and all that. But it's like they rely on their tourism a lot. Yeah. So it's like this year maybe I'll just go on trips that are not that far from here. Me and him are supposed to go to Oregon.
I'm planning to go going with some friends too.
Oregon would be sick.
We are going for sure, bro.
Okay. Well, we're going to Yellowstone first, and then we'll plan Oregon after that. How about that? Remember that weekdays?
Yes.
Keep your weekdays open for the most part. Because weekdays are so much cheaper to travel in than anything else. And as photographers, I think going anywhere on a weekday is better because there's less people. Period. So, like for Yellowstone, I want to go. Vámonos by Yellowstone, dude. Let's go see some damn bison.
I went camping with, huh?
Do you work?
I do, but fuck work.
No, right?
I'm so close to quitting.
We got another invite. Let's go.
I went camping out there when I was super little and we saw a bear, dude. That was scary.
Really?
It was like a tiny bear. And,
it's funny because
those bears don't do anything.
I spoke to the ranger, right? Like, this was on Monday because apparently their office hours are Monday through Friday, and I was trying to call on the weekend, but it was like, what the hell?
Anda borracho.
What the hell's wrong with you? What the hell was that? I thought he was trying to tell me something, but okay.
It's that he's trying to flirt with you now. I don't know, man. Something's gonna happen. I think I'll let you guys do Yellowstone alone.
Chava's being sus. Chava's being hella sus right now. But the park ranger was like asking me why I was concerned about the winter season, and I'm like, well, it'd be me and some photographer friends, so we want to like go to places we want to go to, because he said that you can go, but you have to book like a snow coach tour thing. So it's kind of like a little bus with like big snow blade things or something like that, and it just drives you around the whole park. Well, it drives you on a certain route, but you don't get to pick where you stop. Like the person picks.
So it's like a tour guide?
It's a tour. It's a tour guide. So I'm like, bro, I don't want to be driving inside that thing and I see like a herd of bison in a dope ass spot and I can't pull over and take a picture. Like, I'm cool off of that, Plus that thing is hella expensive. So I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'd rather just wait. And he was like, yeah, well, we open the roads after April 26th. He's like, and after that, you can just drive yourself everywhere. Mm-hmm. He's like, but I am going to advise, like, please don't get near the wildlife. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't planning on it. But because he was telling me that a lot of people every single year approach like the bison, and then when they get rammed, they're like surprised and they want to try to sue the park. And I'm like, bro, they're like 3-ton animals. Like, what are you doing getting near a damn bison? Like,
they deserve to get rammed.
Yeah, I'm honestly. Like, I think bisons are like easily my favorite animal, but I would never in my life get anywhere near one. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't get close. No matter how dope that picture would be, I'd rather get a zoom lens, bro, and just from the road, just
I'd rather get that
Snipe.
35 and really mess up my picture.
just crop it all in. Yeah, but he was like, no, you'd be surprised, man. Like every single year we have accidents with wildlife. He's like, apparently there's a lot of moose there, and
Yeah,
people
there are.
approach moose and like, have you seen how big a damn moose is?
Dude.
They're humongous, bro. I'm like, why would you want to get near that? Like, he said that people try to approach the wolves. I'm like, why in God's name
People
would you
wanna
approach
see
a
the
wolf?
world burn, bro.
Like, yeah. I'm like, what are you trying to do, bro? I'm like, get a damn zoom lens and just snipe a good picture. Like, I'm not gonna get near that
Yeah.
thing. But so if me and him go, I'm gonna make him get close to the bison. We're like, Chava,
should.
go pet the bison, bro.
I heard they're ticklish.
Get on it, bro.
I'm gonna be like, I'll give you $100. He's gonna run up and just
Tag.
book it.
Yeah, I know, right?
But hey, if you're down to come with us, bro,
Hey,
we'll let you
man,
know.
I'm so close to quitting my job. Let's go.
Oh, sheesh. We got another invitee for May.
Yeah, man.
It's a
It'll
plan.
be fun.
But all right, man. I think we're getting to our
Let's
to
wrap
our
it,
end
huh?
here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
to our wrap
Let's
up.
wrap it, huh?
Thank you for coming, dude. I think
Yeah, dude, it was my
this was
pleasure.
a great conversation. Talked about
Yeah,
a lot
man.
of stuff.
You're cool. You're a
was
cool
great.
kid.
For how
I'm
young
a
you
cool
are,
youngin'.
for how young you are, you're very
Keep on
mature,
killing. Keep on. I know.
in my
seriously.
opinion.
I agree. With
I don't
always
meet
gonna be
I don't
like
meet
that.
many 19-year-olds that are like
I've
as
always kinda been
enjoyable
like
as
that.
you are to talk to. So that's really dope.
I didn't really
That-
like high school just because I like the vibe wasn't there. That's
Yeah.
why when I said I like college more than high school,
It's just older
such
people.
a different environment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's older people. So that's
Yeah.
dope. Can you make sure you plug in all his stuff? Actually, plug yourself
Oh,
in.
yeah.
You
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
plugged yourself in.
So I'm pretty much only on Instagram. It's just my name, Aczel Santana, no dots, no nothing. I have never
Tell
had
them
a
how to
nickname.
spell it because they might
Oh,
think
yeah,
it's
dude.
Axel.
So it's ACZEL Santana Santana.
It's Aczel, not
Aczel.
Axel.
Well, he's not white.
And he's not
No,
white.
not
Look
white.
at him.
I'm pretty
Unless
brown.
that's white skin, then I don't know what to tell you, Chief.
I swear I'm darker than you.
He's darker than both of us, bro.
For real.
No, but thank you for coming on, man.
My pleasure,
It was
man.
a
I thought it was
pleasure.
fun.
We're glad we could finally bring you in. You've been a big fan of the podcast and everything,
man.
so it's dope to have you come in. But
Keep on
yeah,
doing your
man.
thing, bro.
Yeah,
Thanks
keep
for coming.
Appreciate you.
start
guys too.
shooting more.
I'm
For real,
hopefully,
man.
hopefully.
Start
Okay,
start
I'll-
doing more video stuff
Honestly,
and photo.
just be like, I'll shoot you for free. Just
They won't even bite.
recommend me.
Really?
They
you
won't
know?
bite.
Damn,
on, dude.
they're sleeping on my
They
boy,
sleep.
I
man.
know, for real.
Big sleeping. Hopefully, now the people that see this are gonna go be like, "Yo, he's offering some
Hopefully.
free shoot.
Let's
Say
go.
less."
DM me.
Yeah,
there's,
huh?
there's always somebody that gives you that chance, you know. We always have that.
Mhm.
You always have somebody that takes the chance on you, like your first wedding, your first whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep at it.
Yeah.
If
we'll
you
go
like
for
it, you're gonna keep doing it anyway.
Yeah,
So.
definitely.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, man.
Let's go.
Of course. Yes, sir.
And
that's
we'll
a
see
wrap.
you on the next one, everybody.
Hopefully,
I'm kinda-
Chava won't get drunk next
I'm
episode.
kind of drunk. I was saying.
We'll see you on the next one, everybody.
Dude,
Nah.
he's feeling it.
I'm
He's
about to-
With the
sipping.
windows down,
For a couple hours.
trying just to drown it out.
Right.
All the silence way too loud.
Hey.
Can we get over it? Should we just keep this up? Can we get over it? 'Cause haven't we had enough? Can we get over it? Or are we too deep in love? Can we get over it? No. Can we get over it? No. Just let me be honest.